success was never elusive for John Sage. Educated at Stanford, graduate degree from Harvard, John learned his trade from some of America's best schools and went straight to one of America's most successful companies, Microsoft.
Microsoft, when I joined here in '89, was a very small company, less than 4,000 employees and only 6 buildings. It was intoxicating. It was energizing. We were all really driven to do all the things that I had learned you're supposed to do in business school. Increase market share, take share from your competition, increase return on investment, boost shareholder value, and, probably get wealthy along the way. It was an environment that made it very difficult to have a personal life or much of a spiritual life because the work itself was so consuming. I look back and I think my 5 years at Microsoft were an incredible time of growth. I gained tremendous professional skills and I enjoyed working with smart people. But in my last year, I launched Microsoft Office, was regularly working over 100 hours a week. I got married to my wife, and I lost my only brother, who died of AIDS at the age of 28. And I didn't feel that I had the emotional or spiritual energy to kind of continue. And so I decided that I would take some time off and kind of reassess where I would work and where God was calling me.
John Sage was in halftime, that time in life, as described by Bob Buford, where one chapter of life seems to come to an end, and the search begins for what to do next.
What I find is a lot of people are really frightened by that choice. I mean, terrified by it in some ways, and are kind of frozen on the trigger. And my objective in writing Halftime, or my attempt in writing Halftime, was to give people ideas about what to do with this vast new territory that I think of as the promised land.
I don't even remember who gave me a copy of Halftime, but it was a really pivotal read for me. My thought prior to reading Bob's book was pretty simplistic. It was, I've been in business, I made some money, so I've got some financial freedom. I guess I should maybe go to seminary. I'll become a minister. And, deep down I'm thinking, I don't really want to become a minister, and I probably wouldn't last very long. And so to realize through my reading of Halftime that there was a chance for me to be about business, and to look for a way to take my passion for business and somehow synthesize it or fuse it together with ministry was just a great encouragement.
Soon after that, John met with an old Harvard buddy, Chris Dernley. And in the years since grad school, while John was working for Bill Gates, Chris had been working the streets of San Jose, Costa Rica.
While we were sitting there, I was talking to him about what was happening with the kids, what was going on with the street kids down here, and some of the exciting things that were going on, and moaning the blues about finances and not really having enough funds to help fund what we were doing. And at the same time, happened to bring up a bag of Costa Rican coffee and said, hey, this is fantastic coffee.
As Chris was describing his situation in his life and the difficulty of raising funds for the ministry, I had the sense that here he is, someone who's long on vision, but short on cash. And at that point, I was long on cash, but very short on vision. And it was in that moment that Chris handed me a bag of coffee from Costa Rica, and the notion and the vision and the idea behind Pura Vida Coffee was born.
The philosophy is simple. Pura Vida sells coffee directly over the internet to individuals, churches, and retailers. They deliver a product of the highest quality, and they channel all profits from the company into proven successful ministries in third world countries. Their motto is, great coffee, great cause.
A lot of people have said, well, why don't you just write Chris a big check? Let him go do his ministry, you stay in the work world so that you can keep writing him big checks. We really believe that setting up a business that has as its mission the ongoing and sustainable support of ministry work is a much more engaging and compelling and ultimately productive model than just writing checks. when a company is run successfully and the business is profitable, you not only have the opportunity to grow and build a dependable source of revenue for ministry, but you have an opportunity to interact and build relationship with thousands and thousands of customers. When we can simply lay out to people that our coffee is great, we don't ask you to trade off your high expectations for coffee. We don't ask you to pay twice the normal price for a bag. We compete on our merits. And then we get to come in and show you a picture of a little girl who, because you bought coffee, was able to have hearing aids and can now hear her mother's voice. Or a little boy who was malnourished and now can have food. And that helps him stay awake and alert in school because you bought coffee. It's an unbelievable thing to tell people, and frankly, it's the easiest thing I've ever had to sell or to market.
John Sage is living in what Bob Buford calls the second half, not because of his age, but because of a fundamental shift in the allocation of his time and talents. He has moved from success to significance.